Harvey Kronberg with the Quorum Report is with us. Comptroller Hegar just said that the way the estimate was at the beginning of the session, still so far so good. Your thoughts on what the comptroller had to say?
I think that, as best I can tell, he's right on the mark, and there's a lot more confidence in his estimates at this stage than there were in his predecessor's estimates. And it's true; it's a much more diverse economy. So the possibility of maybe losing another 30 or 40,000 jobs in Texas is not nearly as dramatic as it would have been in the 1980s, and those jobs are more likely to be absorbed.
Okay, Senate has their budget approved and have a chance yet to talk to you about it. What was the takeaway, maybe the main storyline out of that 30-1 vote, right? That
Exactly.
was pretty quick.
Well, first of all, it wasn't an all-day debate. It's a tribute to Chairman Nelson. This is the most significant chairmanship she's ever had, and she really did craft something that got broad-based support. Nobody got everything they wanted, but it was not punitive towards Democrats, and that's significant. What really is interesting to guys like me was we did not know whether what the self-proclaimed Liberty Caucus, the Tea Party freshmen, could vote for a budget that represented any kind of expansion in government. And we thought that might lead us to a special session because they would get locked down and there would be warfare between Democrats and Republicans. It was a rare moment of not so rare, but it was a moment of conciliation, and they have a document that's a reasonable document.
Well, now let's follow that up by something that was posted on the Quorum Report about if you throw in the tax cut plans that both the House and Senate have, franchise tax built in, but it's sales tax on the sales tax cuts on the House side. Let's have some property tax relief on the Senate side. That there's maybe some grumblings by some lawmakers that Governor Abbott hasn't kind of ventured into this argument and made his stance clear. And speaking today publicly, he really said it was really about franchise tax for him.
He's staying totally focused on franchise tax because we essentially have open warfare between the two bodies on property tax relief versus sales tax relief. The property tax relief is going to require a constitutional amendment, and that's going to require 2/3 of both the House and the Senate. And I don't see 2/3 of the House under any circumstance allowing that to happen. There are too many veterans over there that saw what happened with the so-called property tax cuts in 2006. The public didn't see them, and they came away more angry than ever. But Governor Patrick is doubling down on his insistence on property tax cuts, even though there's broad-based knowledge that they will be invisible to the public.
He even, the Lieutenant Governor released a press release after Governor Abbott released a press release talking about the importance of franchise tax cuts. And he, the Lieutenant Governor, echoed those sentiments and added, but I also won't approve of a budget that doesn't have property tax relief. So, I mean, are we headed to an impasse here on these two
well, the interest, of course, the Lieutenant Governor has a lot of power, but he is not the Senate. He is simply the presiding officer of the Senate. And if they decide they're going to do something different than he wants to do, he has some leverage to control. But when everything is said and done, the bottom line is that, well, here's the irony. The governor's office was ecstatic that both the House and the Senate had passed a budget. They think that means we're not going to go to a special session. Yet, when you put down markers like, absolute markers like that, suddenly the possibility of a special session becomes more likely because, frankly, there is no appetite for the property tax cuts when you contrast them to sales tax cuts over in the House.
You could hear a collective groan of people listening to what you just said there.
And you wonder whether this is just campaign posturing or whether this is real, but they really do want Governor Abbott to weigh in at some point and give some guidance because he's the most popular of all the politicians in the mix.
We've got a couple of minutes. I want to ask you a couple of things here. We had that point of order on the House.